Well, one nice part about all this rain is no dust on the dirt roads.
So the other day I came out here to check on that mineral trough that I built, and they had knocked it over. So I set it back up, and I left it out there for them. Came back the next day and it was still standing. So I refilled it. Came back last night, still standing. Came back this morning, it's raining now, and I thought, perfect. I'll be able to go see how well that's doing at keeping the rain out. And they knocked it over again. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go stand it back up in the rain, and then I'm going to drive a couple T-posts on either side of it, and hopefully that will keep them from being able to knock it over again. And then we'll come back and check on it tomorrow and see if they how it did keeping the water out of the mineral. So let's get to that.
Well, it's 11:30ish at night. Oh, Thanksgiving dinner's over. Yesterday, Thanksgiving dinner was yesterday. I'm tired. It's probably just going to be rambling. And I forgot to hook up my mic, so there might be wind. But after Thanksgiving dinner, stayed at my parents' house, and then I went to Stillwater and picked up some old oil field pipe from my buddy who works in the oil industry. It's parked over in the pasture. And then I drove 2 hours to Arkansas, picked up a couple four-wheelers and this little trailer. So it's been raining on me on and off the entire time. So they both got gun cases on them. This is kind of cool. That light comes off and is kind of a little handheld thing that you can use like a spotlight. And this one's got another gun rack up here on it, so that's cool. These things are not antennas, they are to keep spiders off you when you're driving through the woods. So that's actually kind of a cool idea. And then they put handles on these so that if you're driving through mud, you can keep your feet up out of it. So that's kind of cool too. I kind of like that. So anyway, just a couple little four-wheelers. I'm going to bed. I'll show them to you in the morning. Man, check that out. So cool. Man, these four-wheelers are kind of distracting. Look at that blue sky. No clouds. I don't think it's supposed to rain at all today. What a beautiful sight. Alright, so here's the four-wheelers I bought last night. Brought them in. I made a little video last night looking at them. I don't know if I'll even put that in here. Can't hardly see them, just with flashlight and stuff. Got gun racks on them. The guy that owned them before built up these sweet little custom beds. So that's cool. He's got this one kind of too far back. He's got these little things on here though are for keeping spiders off you when you're driving through the woods. And then he's got them set up back here. This little riser is for hanging your deer stand on when you're taking them out to deer hunt. And came with this trailer. So ramp built in. Love it. So I'm pretty excited. I'm going to rearrange these and get the red one off, put the green one back on, because this red one here has 2-inch ball. And then I'm going to unhook from my truck, I'll hook it up to the four-wheeler, and that's what I'm going to use to drag the green one's going to get parked for now underneath the hay barn, and then the trailer get parked on the line over by the stock trailer, and I don't even have to drag my truck through there to do that. And then on my way back up here, I'll show you guys the pipe that I also bought yesterday. It's sitting in the pasture over there. And then I got to go borrow a gas-powered welder from work and get my torch from my storage unit. And then I'll build up some pipe racks out of some of the pipe that I brought, and then unload the trailer, and then drive all the way back to Stillwater, get more pipe, come back here, unload that pipe, and depending on what time it ends up being, either tomorrow or next weekend or whenever, I got to bring that trailer back. I borrowed it from my buddy that I bought the pipe from. So I'm gonna unload these four-wheelers, and yeah, we'll get going. Well, we had a ton of rain this weekend, and there's no water in there, so that's good. Back at my mineral trough, It's a soupy mess, as always, but kind of is what it is. What I did to keep this upright is just put T-post on that side and on this side. And that seems to have worked. They didn't knock it over. It's not full of water. So, making improvements. I still want to redesign this and build one that's double as wide, just because they have a hard time getting in there to it. They get like 4 of them in there at a time, which is more than I figured they'd be able to do. So they've eaten all the mineral up. I've been gone for, I haven't seen them, didn't see them at all yesterday. They're all coming to see what I'm about to give them. So let me get this in here and get out of their way. My pond is leaking. We got dumped on with a ton of rain this morning, about 5 o'clock in the morning. So everything's kind of overflowing now. It's all right. On the Suzuki here, I'm actually right off the bat kind of liking it better than the Honda. The Honda's idling kind of rough, so I need to look at that and probably adjust the carburetor on it. But having a four-wheeler makes it really easy to drive around and check fence. So this is great. I'm already excited to have it. Yeah, check out the creek. Look at it flow. And again, that's all from just this rain this morning mostly. There's going to be a ton of runoff here for a little while. It's going to keep it up pretty high. So back this way, let me back out. I've taken you guys back there a little bit, I think. Maybe not actually. I've been back there, and this whole thing is kind of a draw in there, and that flows back into the main part of the creek here. And I know I posted some pictures on Instagram, and where I was kind of around back that way. So this part of the creek here is actually not on my land, that's on my neighbor's land, but then it circles back around and goes back into my land over there. That probably didn't make much sense. But anyway, man, whenever we get a lot of rain, that creek flows. We'll cruise up here and look at this pond, and then I'm going to go get everything else parked and unloaded for the day. I'm not sure how clear this is, but the last time I was out here, from the edge of this grass, there was like probably a foot of drop before you actually got to the water. And I mean, it comes right up to it now. So amazing how much rain we've been getting. It just keeps everything soggy and wet. But the ponds are full, so silver lining, right? I think I've talked about this before, how this little spillway works, and that's what I was looking at down there just a minute ago, is where the spillway kind of gets back to the creek. And it's literally just kind of a low spot on the pond here. They use this natural feature of the hill as the spillway. So this berm over here is all man-made. But this whole side of the pond here is just kind of based on the natural curve of the land. And they just built that dam right there. And so, anyway, when it gets full, it just overflows. And you can see it just running on down to the creek. So, working the way it's supposed to. I don't think it's supposed to handle as much water as it's had to the last year. But I didn't design it, so maybe it's perfectly capable. It seems to be. I mean, it's still standing, right? The dam, that is. The pond's still here. So, yeah, seems to be working correctly. And it looks like it's on this side, about to get into this other fence. So, you're just kind of spreading out everywhere. No big deal. Here they come. Alright, I'm gonna head back up and get the Honda's right there on the trailer. Or the trailer's on the Honda, so I'm gonna get all that parked. Then I'm gonna go and take the Honda back up to the house, even though I'm having trouble with it. That way I can play with it and work on it. So this is my buddy's pipe trailer that I borrowed. It's the first batch of pipe that I bought off of him. So you can see this 3-inch stuff here. This is what's gonna end up getting turned into pipe racks. So I'll cut this up, make just some little kind of triangular shaped racks. And then I've got a piece of rod here. I'll use that. I'll show you what I use that for. And then we'll get all this up there on the racks. And then I got to head back and get more. So I couldn't fit it all in one load, so we just split it kind of between two. So 32-ish foot drill pipe. So this is drill stem. And then I've got some line pipe as well I'm going to buy from them. It's just a little bit thinner. And some more of that rod probably. So pretty cool. I'm excited about this. What I'm going to do with this stuff is make little fence crossings for four-wheelers that you can drive right up to and they'll open automatically somehow. I haven't designed it yet, so I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. There's a few different ways that people have done that. I don't know how I'll do mine, but the plan is to have access through all of my fences anywhere that I need to get through them without actually having to get out and open a gate. So just kind of a convenience thing. And he's been trying to sell this pipe for a while now, so he's selling it to me at basically scrap price, a little bit below on some of it. And so it's just a cheap way for me to get a lot of pretty good material, and then I'll be able to experiment with that and build some stuff. Now, I left the trailer up here because I didn't want to beat my truck through all of that. It doesn't look as bad on the camera as it is, but it's bad. So there's a right over here, there's just like a little puddle. It doesn't look so bad, but it's about 3 feet deep on one side. And so not only do you sink 3 feet deep into it, but since it's kind of a 3 foot deep rut, you also kind of high center if you go through it in the truck. I learned that one. And everything bottoms out and it sucks, and it's like, well, crap, beating everything up. And that's why I've kept kind of having to expand the ruts out this way, is because it just keeps getting worse and worse over there. I can't drive in that anymore. So hopefully I'll stop expanding that out now that I've got the four-wheeler set up. But I think I'm going to have to make one more trip back that way with the truck and trailer. I may just try to use the tractor. I don't know yet. But I think I want to put the metal rack over there by the hay barn for now. And then someday, though, I may move it to over here where my camper is now, and that's where I'll have my shop building set up at some point. And so it'll probably be better to have the pipe and material over there. So I've thought about just going ahead and building it over there, actually. So I don't know what I'll do. I'll decide that. I got to go get welder and torch out of storage, and then we'll figure that out from there. So I don't know what the best thing to do is on that, because if I build it over here, I'm probably just going to have to move it all again, and I don't have this trailer to do that with. So maybe it would be better to just go ahead and use the tractor to unload it all up over there. But I don't know where I'd put it that's not going to be in my way over there. It's kind of a, I don't know, catch-22, I guess. So, well, I don't know. You'll see what I decide in the future. So I'm told this bridge is washed out several times. How high this is right here, I mean, as you can see, it's kind of just a foot and a half or so below the top of the bridge. This is normally about 10 feet down before you get to the water. Maybe not quite 10, 8 feet maybe. And I mean, it's just flowing. It's my neighbor's side over there. This is my side. So I was trying to point out how much it was flowing from the pasture in there, and I don't know how obvious this is, but you can tell this is kind of acting like a dam, which is why it keeps getting washed out. There's not enough flow underneath of it. But that side is about, well, like I said, it's about 1.5 feet from the roadway to the water. And then this side you can see is about 4 feet. So we're making about 3 foot of head pressure. Even though you would think that these big tin horns would just be completely full. It's just not the way flow works. So in order to make this more efficient, what they should have done was bell-mouthed kind of this on the other side to allow more efficient flow into it. So then the way that would look is this middle pier here would have kind of come to a knife point, and then that would have made the flow more efficient and just would put less resistance on the bridge. And the other obvious thing would have been to put 2 more of these in, just give it more path to flow. And so the other thing, again, I don't know how well this comes out on camera, but that's moving relatively slow. When you look at the creek up there, it's moving maybe, I don't know. Well, let's just kind of go time it. Well, let's look at this real quick. So this is probably moving, I'm gonna say like 5 or 6 feet per second. It's hard to time because it's so turbulent, you can't really see, but just to guess. And then let's pick out some debris in here that we can kind of look at to get an estimate. So this is moving like 1 foot per second-ish, maybe a little faster up here right close. But that change in velocity is directly proportional to the losses that you're seeing here in the bridge, the pressure loss, or not the, well, a pressure differential. So this bridge is basically, it's acting like a restrictor plate, which means that, you know, however much flow goes into this is kind of getting accelerated through the bridge, and then it's holding back head pressure here. So not ideal. Not sure how long this bridge is going to last. So that's not designed particularly well, in my opinion. And you can't tell because it's all underwater, but this side of the bridge, it's just a flat face. There's no attempt to make it more aerodynamic. Yeah. And then kind of another artifact of that is this little bit of turbulence here with this bottle that can't get through. If this was really efficient flow, it would create a vortex that would suck it in. But it's not, so you get these little turbulent layers up here on top. So this side of the creek in engineering is what we would call laminar flow, or pretty close to it. It's probably a little bit of mixed flow. And then this side is turbulent flow. And in order to maximize efficiency, you want to maintain laminar flow and avoid this. So the other thing that's unfortunate about all that turbulence is that it creates erosion, and so that's eroding the banks of my creek, putting my dirt into the creek. And so when you got fast flow like this, it's just going to widen the creek out. Widen it out more and more and more, both sides, and you can see how dirty the water is. You know, when you come out here and it's not been raining a whole lot, that water's crystal clear in there. But as it's flowing real fast, all that dirt that it's picking up is coming off of, well, I guess this dirt's coming off of my neighbor's property, but down the stream, that's dirt that's coming out of my property. And so I'm losing a little bit of shoreline every time we get a big flow like this. Or creek bank rather, not shoreline. So that's kind of unfortunate, and there's absolutely nothing I can do about that.